Welcome to Mastery of Writing the Personal Narrative. Lesson 2, Video 1. This video is the first lecture on sentence structure. We're going to start at the beginning. We are going to make sure we know what a sentence actually is. And remember, I told you we would cover 3 sentence structures? We will also be looking at the first one in this video, the simple sentence. As you watch this lecture, look for the definition of a sentence. Make sure to take good notes. And as with every video, at the end you will be asked to submit a question for inquiry. By the end of this lesson, you will know what a sentence is. You will also be able to effectively compose a simple sentence and know why it is called a simple sentence. Watching this first lecture on sentence structure, one of 2 things will happen. You will either think everything on this video is easy and you'll quit paying attention, or you'll keep your purpose for taking this class in mind, and you will form a strong foundation from which you can work on the structure of your sentences. My hope for all of you is that the second potential comes true. When you learn how to multiply numbers, you start with 2 times 2. Not so hard, but it doesn't stay easy, does it? Learning how to write is a little different than learning math. There are infinite ways to write a simple sentence. And some simple sentence structures are very easy, while others are very complicated. We're not going to start with the hard ones. We're going to begin with the basics. There are several ways that your instructor might help you after you watch this lecture. After the initial inquiry session, he or she might have you work on a group of sentences in a small group. You might do some research on definitions of a simple sentence, or you might be asked to write a summary of your understanding of what a sentence is. Watch this video and watch it again if you don't understand it. Are you ready? What's a sentence? If a sentence has what it needs, it will express a thought that can stand by itself. A sentence can stand by itself if it is a group of words that contain a subject and a verb phrase. Let me say that a different way. A sentence is a group of words that can stand by itself because it includes a subject and a verb phrase. We're not going to spend a lot of time on grammar labels, but we do need to establish what some labels mean, or we won't be able to talk about writing great sentences. The first grammar label that you need to know about is subject. First of all, the subject is a noun. And what's a noun? A noun is a person, place, or thing. At least that's what you learned, and you learned well. But there's one more kind of noun you need to know about: an idea. An idea can be a noun too, like love or courage. The subject is a noun, and it's what the sentence is about. The second grammar label we need to know is verb phrase. Some instructors and grammar textbooks call this part of the sentence the predicate, but we're going to call it a verb phrase. What is a verb phrase? It's what the sentence is saying about the subject. You probably learned that the verb phrase expresses an action, and once again you learned well. But you also need to know that a verb phrase can express what is called a state of being. We're going to talk about the verb phrase and what a state of being means very soon. It's very important to know that if a sentence doesn't have a subject, you don't have a sentence. And if a sentence doesn't have a verb phrase, you don't have a sentence either, usually. One of the most challenging issues about becoming a masterful writer is that many English grammar rules come with exceptions. Not only that, English teachers don't always agree on some ideas and how they should be written. Don't fret, though. You're in good hands. The Mastery Writing class series is based on the hard work of many skilled writing instructors and writing professors who have conducted research on how we best learn how to write. I want to make sure you know what a subject is and how it works in a sentence with a verb phrase. If you have a subject and a verb phrase, if what you've written can stand by itself, you have written a sentence. Look at this. Mark works. Is this a complete sentence? Does it have a subject? Yes. Mark. Mark is a noun, a person, and he is what the sentence is about. Does it have a verb phrase? Yes. Works. Works says something about the subject, Mark. Can it stand by itself? Yes. By the way, it's called a verb phrase because this part of a sentence can use one word or it can use several words. You can also have a noun phrase, but you'll see how that works in future mastery courses. A simple sentence is organized into one idea. That's why it's called a simple sentence. One idea for one sentence. Mark works is a simple sentence because it is a sentence that expresses one idea. Etch this into your brain so you never forget it. A simple sentence structure has one idea. Let's look at one more example of the simple sentence structure. Say you're writing an email to a good friend about the cool writing class you're taking. Your subject is the writing class. The writing class is a noun, and it's what your sentence will be about. Our subject is the writing class. Now, what do you want to say about the writing class? How about my writing class is hard? Where's the verb phrase? Remember, a verb phrase does not always express an action. In our sentence, my writing class is hard, the verb phrase is. This is a verb phrase that gives the subject, my writing class, a state of being, a state of hard. Verb phrases that express a state of being are not easy to understand, especially if you have never heard the idea state of being. If you don't quite get it, don't worry. We're going to talk about these types of verb phrases throughout this mastery course. As I said earlier, there are a few grammar issues we do need to discuss, and today's discussion on the subject and the verb phrase is something you do need to understand. What did you learn today? The subject is a noun, and it's what the sentence is about. The verb phrase is what the sentence says about the subject. A sentence must have a subject and a verb phrase, and a simple sentence structure expresses one idea. For additional information on the subject and verb phrase, go to the Materials folder for the sentence in your learning management system. So you want to remember that a verb phrase will be doing one of two things. It will either be expressing an action or it will be expressing a state of being. That's it, the simple sentence. Your instructor will have plenty of ways to practice what you learned today when you get to class. Look at this video again if you need to, and make sure to post your question in the inquiry folder. And remember,
work hard and have fun.